I've been working to make a shift to really allow for student autonomy and choice. And we spent quite a bit of time looking at habits and process over product. And I looked at the work of Hetland, Wiener, Vernemer, and Sheridan on studio in this book, Studio Thinking, and spent a good deal of time covering these studio habits of mind and trying to train my students that these habits are what are going to make or break their ability to learn in a deep, effective, and meaningful way. So we looked at the 8 habits, and students were given options. Here's an example of one week where they had to pick an area of focus for the week and choose which of the habits they were going to focus on. Then they had some options for how they were going to show their growth, share their growth, and I've included some of the student samples of, here's an assignment of how I presented this, packaged it, and gave this to them. They're sort of at this idea that they're telling a story of how they grew, what their process was. They could record, film, write about, or speak about. And here's some of the student work that they put together from a simple goal. I want to make something simple that looks like this building. This was a shift for me because the students were, instead of just the product, they didn't always have a finished product, but they had a process and they could document that process. Here's another example from the planning stages up to what they got through in that 1 week. Here's another example of a piece of work. This was in a 3D design class. And finally, this idea of documenting evidence. What habits were they working on? How can they show evidence that they were looking at artists, finding references, creating strong work, showing growth? Finally, I share in this artifact an example of unpacking standards, which really helped me. I did this with all of my state standards, really helped me to identify the different learning targets in the standard and know how to support students in meeting those standards.